In March 2025, ICE detained Kilmar Abrego Garcia, an asylum seeker with protected status, which is called withholding of removal, after a routine check-in despite his protected status. According to his family, he was not given a chance to speak to a lawyer or see a judge and was deported to El Salvador, the very country he fled to save his life. Now he's locked up in El Salvador's most notorious prison, and he's not the only one. Hello everyone, Mr. Robbie here. Let me tell you about another illegal ICE abduction of another asylum seeker with protected status. Merwil Gutiérrez's story is just as outrageous. On February 24th, 2025, Merwil Gutiérrez, a 19-year-old asylum seeker from Venezuela, stepped outside his Bronx apartment, and within minutes, ICE agents surrounded him. But here's the part that should make your blood boil. He wasn't even the person they were looking for, and they took him anyway. Merwil came to the U.S. in 2023 with his father, grandfather, and cousin, fleeing Venezuela. He followed the law. He sought asylum. And he had a court date in 2027. He did everything right. No criminal record, no gang ties, nothing that justified what happened next. ICE agents allegedly admitted to witnesses that Merwil wasn't their target. But one of them says, and I quote, "We are already here, let's just take him anyway." That's not law enforcement, that's kidnapping. Weeks later, Merwil managed to call his father. He was in Pennsylvania. He thought he'd be sent back to Venezuela, but instead, this innocent teenager was deported to El Salvador. Currently, Merwil is detained in El Salvador's CECOT mega prison. His family and legal representatives have received no official information regarding his case, and his name does not appear in ICE's detainee locator system. Let me tell you where I'm coming from. I'm an American citizen, born in the United States, but I've lived in Switzerland since 1991, and I've been a legal permanent resident here since 1996. That means I'm both an American and a foreigner. And I think about that every time I read one of these stories, because no matter how long I've lived in Switzerland, I could never imagine the Swiss government dragging me off the street and deporting me to a country I've never lived in, where I don't speak the language, and locking me in a prison cell. But that's what the U.S. government just did to Merwil Gutiérrez and to Kilmar Abrego Garcia. It shakes me, and it should shake you too. In a recent video, I covered Peter, Paul, and Mary's protest song, El Salvador.
But everyone is innocent until they arrive in El Salvador.
Everyone is innocent until they arrive in El Salvador. That line haunts me now because it just happened. Real people are being deported not to their home countries, but to prisons and places they've never lived. This is more than incompetence. This is cruelty. This is calculated disregard for human life. CECOT prison is a hellscape. Thousands are crammed into cells, no charges, no lawyers, just chains and fear. Kilmar Garcia and Merwil Gutiérrez, both protected asylum seekers with no criminal record, no criminal history, no gang affiliation, are in there. None of this is acceptable. These men don't belong there, not morally, not legally, and not in any sense of human decency. And yet, the U.S. government, under its current immigration directives, sent them there without blinking. Where is the accountability? This isn't a one-off. This is what happens when policy is built on fear, vengeance, and political theater. Trump's 2025 executive orders have gutted due process. ICE has more power than ever, and less oversight. And people like Merwil and Kilmar, they are the collateral damage. But we're not supposed to have collateral damage, not in a country that claims to stand for justice. This is not just cruel, it is un-American. And as someone who sees firsthand how the Swiss system treats its residents with caution, with legal protections, with basic human respect, I can tell you this: the U.S. system is broken. Merwil's family is begging for help. Kilmar's wife is doing everything she can to get answers. There are growing calls for accountability and pressure is mounting for action. Their loved ones are pleading for help and others are beginning to take notice. And we have to keep the pressure on. Please share this story. Call your representatives and demand oversight. Demand answers. Please watch my other video on Peter, Paul, and Mary's El Salvador because it predicted exactly this kind of moral disaster. When music becomes prophecy, it's time to act. Thank you for watching. Please like and hit the bell and subscribe and share and all of that. This is very important. Don't let this go. Thank you. You'll see me later.
But everyone is in